Bob Woodward, associate editor of the Washington Post, now joins us. He and Carl Bernstein led the paper's coverage of the Watergate scandal that ended with President Richard Nixon's resignation. That's Woodward on the right in this photo. Bob, good morning. When you look at this, last-minute negotiation over the tax bill, does it look familiar to legislation you've seen before, the last-minute negotiations?
Well, this is exactly the way not to do tax reform. I remember in the 70s when I started reporting, lawyers said the tax code was about that big on the shelf. It's now this big. You can't go at it in this way, and it would make so much sense now for everyone to just say, let's wait till after Christmas. Let's let people see what this is. It's an important issue. It affects everyone. But, you know, we're in the era of impatience and speed and political promises, so it looks like something might happen. We'll see.
Well, you know, talk about waiting till after Christmas. Bob, the Democrats are saying they want to delay the vote until after Senator-elect Doug Jones is seated in January. Do you see any chance of that happening?
That's unlikely. There's a momentum to this. President Trump has made it very clear he doesn't want to end the year without some success, some accomplishment. But let's see. You know, this is, if you go back to the beginning of the Obama presidency, when they rammed through Obamacare, and really have been paying for it since, because I remember talking last year with Trump about this when he was a candidate, that all successful politics is coalition building. You've got to include some of the other side. And Trump said, oh, absolutely, I know that, but we're not seeing it practiced by both sides. Too bad.
Bob, let me move on to the Russia investigation, especially following up on that stunning Washington Post report about Trump's advisors having to tiptoe around the Russia issue anytime it comes up. There are some who think that he's trying to discredit Bob Mueller, and some around him are trying to discredit Bob Mueller in hopes of one day firing him. What's the likelihood that you think that'll happen?
Well, you know, the future is veiled on this. Obviously, there's tension. But if Trump is correct, he thinks there's no collusion and nothing here, he should welcome a full investigation. That Post story showed that he just does not agree with the overwhelming conclusion of the intelligence community. So again, this is something we're going to have to wait and see about. But, you know, that is not the emotional culture we're living in. Wait and see. It's let's do it, let's have a fight, let's have a political skirmish.
Bob, you have covered a lot of national security systems within different administrations. You know about the coordination that's required, the dance steps that have to be careful to make good policy. So with that context and that knowledge, assess that reporting about what is done in the national security apparatus around the president with respect to Russia and what that means for just making good decisions.
Well, you know, that's a kind of a side issue. I'm doing a book on Trump for next year and trying to look at the big picture and some of the components. And the good news is, in the first year of the Trump administration, we have not had a major escalation of a war or a new war. And as you get into the weeds on this, where I have some time to do that, there is a rather long and serious debate on lots of these issues, like the Middle East, how to deal with China, North Korea. So it's not all bad news, but this tension on Russia needs to be settled.
All right, Bob Woodward, thanks.